Hey my friends, it's your boy Banner and welcome to another episode of Try Bonsai. Today guys are going to be tackling this very nice, very old, well battered Bougainvillea. And the overall goal or the goal for this is to create a canopy here. We were going good and then we weren't. And as you could see, and I'll bring you in closer to see, some leaves got, I think it's sunburn, because we are experiencing some really very, very hot weather. Apart from that, we have advisories on the Sahara dust that we are experiencing. So it's very hot, rain is not falling at all, you're wetting, and if a bougainvillea leaves showing signs of sunburn, that could tell all you something. You know, so let me bring you all in closer for a better look at this and let's get to work. So I have you in here looking at the trunk, and this is the front of it. And it has a nice hollowed out trunk, completely hollowed out. And we have a branch coming up here, and I'm seeing new growth here and growth coming up. But you're seeing, I have new growth here, but you have a branch that died off here and one that died off to the back here. As I go around, branches would have died off, they shriveled. I will cut them and see if they still have life, but based on what I've seen, a branch with life looks filled, and a branch that is not with any life looks dried and wrinkled. So these branches have died off and they were in some nice places. So you'll see what's happening. This is the other part of the trunk, and this is also hollowed out, which is very nice. But I have new growth happening here. Holding this camera in my hand, all of a sudden, like I don't know how to work this camera. And we have growth happening all over. And then this branch was shooting up, and the leaves on this burnt, they're crisp. So what I'm going to do today, my friends, is I'm going to repot this, remove the items that have already expired, and hope for the best. I'm going to put this in some of the new soil that I would have just done, the new soil mix that I would have just done. So this is going to get a fresh batch of soil, because the last time I repotted this was the first time I potted it up into this. So I'm going to get to take a look at what is happening with the root system, and hopefully with this piece of work and a little more attention, what I want to create could start coming to fruition. You know, it could start happening. So let me just go. Okay, so it took a bit, but I got it out, and it has a pretty good set of roots, lots and lots of roots. It's just wet, so it took a while to get it out of that pot. And I'm thinking about changing the pot to a tile pot, and I have a tile pot in the back here. So I'm gonna rake away at this root ball so that I can get a better understanding as to what is happening with these roots. So as I'm raking away, soil is coming away nice enough, and I already have a pretty long root that may need to be removed. Not me, that I will have to remove, because I would want to try to create or to foster a nice radial root system with some really nice, good feeder roots. And this root, where is this originating from? I don't know. But it went all the way around the pot. This is the end here. Yep. Look at that. Oh, and it ripped. So I'm gonna continue raking this out. And I have another circling root. I have a couple circling roots. I'm gonna continue raking this out, and when we come back, let's take a look at the root system. So my friends, as I am raking away, I have my trusty scissors here. And I'm contemplating if I need to wash these roots. I'm taking off, as you can see, I just cut this off camera. I cut this long one off. Very, very long root. And the soil, not bad at all. So I'm continuing to comb out, and as I'm combing out my root system, all my root system are looking so nice now, boy. Because I think in the combing, as the soil was wet, a lot of roots broke off, which means these roots for this bougainvillea is very, very, very tender. I can't take no set of root work at all. So I'm continuing to cut off. Some of the larger roots so that I could kind of foster or encourage the smaller roots to grow out. And I have a root system. It's very, very meager, but it's a root system nonetheless. So I think I'm going to give this a little wash, a little rinse, get rid of this, and when we come back, let's see what else we need to take off, and let me keep it going. Okay, my friends, so we have here a little bit of a dilemma, and how am I treating with this? I have to treat this piece of material with extra care. I've taken off roots that have already been broken, and I'm trying to gently place roots in positions where I think they need to be. I can't necessarily take off too much because I don't have much to work with. Just scrape away this little bit of soil here just to get a little gander into what is happening. And when I say this thing hollow out, let me see if I could show you all. See that? Straight through. True and true. And the dilemma is we don't have lime sulfur. At least I don't have. I have to find out if we have this available to us here, because this will continue to deteriorate until there is nothing left. So whilst I'm scraping that there, I have a root here that is sticking straight down. Very strong root. I'm going to take that off. And I have this root here that is coming from up here. That is this fellow here. So now there's a little guy that could take his place. So I'm going to prune this off, this bigger fellow. And what do I have? I have this guy curving, going in a wrong direction. I'm going to take him away. And I'm going to see how this sits. Well, this is such a weird bit of material. This isn't. I have this root here that is going in a proper 90-degree angle. I'm going to take this back. There's another root here that I could point down into the dirt. If you all seen that. This root that curves, take off that curve. Then I have a root under here that is, so I'm taking him back. And I know I say I'm not doing much root work, but I'm doing some stuff because what I want to encourage is an even distribution of nourishment to what is remaining of this tree. And I tell you much, it really enjoyed. But I have to figure out how to preserve this. How can this be preserved? So, I'm moving this away. I think I'm finished with this root work for now. I have this guy that is coming very long, so I'm going to prune it back. And when I place it in the dirt, I could kind of place the roots as well. I want to put him into this tile pot rather than putting it back into that smaller circular pot. So this is what I'm going with. So let me get the dirt, get a base layer of soil, and let's pot this guy up. Yeah. All right. So I am offering this Bougainvillea into the pot. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to take away anything that I see that doesn't make any sense. And whilst I'm at it, now look at that. Let me show you something here. So there's a bit of compensating that has to happen because this side doesn't have any trunk coming down. There's some roots coming down, so there's a big open gap here versus this side that has a bit of trunk coming down. So the trunk on this side would have rotted away, and some roots are what is keeping this going. Wow, wow. And as I'm going around to the back, you have some pretty nice roots to the back that has to be sorted out. And to be very honest, my friends, I was doing this thing and I didn't even look at the back. Sorry for the bad camera work, but I'm trying to turn the camera whilst I'm holding it. I didn't even look at the back. So let me take a look at the back, sorting out what needs to be sorted out in the back here. And then we're gonna get this thing into some soil. Yeah? Right. So I change the orientation of this thing. And I'm bringing it to place. I brought the camera in just a little closer. So I sorted out the back somewhat. I had to remove a couple roots. And as you can see, I'm trying to place a couple roots here. And I think this is it for this. So, hold on. So I am back to the front here. And as I said, there's a bit of compensating that has to happen because I have no trunk support here. I have the support coming down here. But I'm gonna make it work. The thing is, I want to give this tree a new, how to put it, a new lease on life, I guess. And I don't have an official scoop, so I'm using a nice little teacup. And now that the tree could stand on its own, I want to look at it and see if this is good. Looking good to me, yes. Now that I finish potting it up, trying to make it as stable as possible and not trying to do too much chopsticking, because the roots on this Bougainvillea is very fragile. What I want to do is to go around and look at anything that we have that has expired and take it back. So I have this branch coming up here that shoots back in, and I really want it to go out, to fan out. So there's a node here, so I'm going to take it back to this point. And hopefully I'm going to get something fanning out. And I have to be very careful because these bougainvilleas have thorns and they're not nice. So if I go around to this side, turning it around to the back, this has died, or has it? It still has a bit of life. I'm just going to remove the dead leaves from it. And I went around to the back, completely not looking at what I have in front. Anyways, I will get back to it. But simply put, I'm just going around removing items that not presenting any life. Like this branch, this entire branch here has died. So I'm going to remove this. And hopefully, I might be able to get something new. Might. Let's see. Now, let me look at that branch. If this is the front, this branch doesn't really make any sense, because if you're looking at the front, this is hiding that branch. Now, it could add a little bit of foliage here to add a little more volume. So I'm going to leave it for now. And let's see if anything comes from it. Now I have a branch coming here. And I'm wondering, this is not so much alive. I'm wondering if to leave this branch here. I'm going to leave it now, for now, as something of a kind of a backup. And I'm coming around. There was a dead branch somewhere about, and I'm missing the branch. This fellow that has shriveled up here to that point, hoping that we could get something coming out. I don't want to prune this just yet, even though it kind of crossing the front. I'm going to prune it back to this point here. And the thing is, hopefully I get something back here, or I might just take this off entirely. I don't know yet. And as I said, I have things coming out from lower down. So the thing is, I'm leaving these as options just in case, because I don't know. To be very honest, I don't know. I don't want to take them off just yet, because this is coming out from a very nice spot. So if this comes out this way and could create something, maybe I just might cut it back and shorten the canopy. Okay, my friends, so I am finished for now, and I took away some more than originally thought I was going to take away. So there was a branch coming out here, I took that back. There's this fellow coming up here. I feel I'm going to take this back, taking off that tip. Should I? Now, what I'm noticing is that everything, the trunk is upright, but everything kind of wants to lean to the back a little bit. There is a bit of depth, but everything kind of wants to lean a little to the back. So I would want a few more things coming to the front. This guy here is coming this way, so I'm not going to take it off. And I'm hoping with this repotting that the life in this tree is reinvigorated and it takes off with great speed, great health. So that is it, my friends. Thank you so very, very much for joining me here today, my friends. Likes help. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment. I would love to read those comments, and share. If you know there is anyone who would benefit from the work that I'm doing, you could go ahead and share. One of my birdies, that's the baby begging for food. I don't know if all are hearing that. Anyways, as I usually say, my friends, be good to yourself. Be good to others. Treat people how you want to be treated, as I give you a 360. And remember, my friends, that our planet, our climate is our responsibility. We have an opportunity to change it for the better. Seeing growth coming out here. If not for ourselves, let's do it for the future generations. And I hope, my friends, that this Bougainvillea does well. It has a beautiful flower. It has some really beautiful character to it. And let's see how it goes. So I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.